Your brain runs on autopilot for roughly half of your waking life, and most people have no idea it is happening. Those automated behaviors are called habits, and they are not accidents. They are the result of a neural architecture that your brain spent years quietly building. Whether that architecture is working for you or against you depends entirely on whether you understand how it was constructed in the first place. In this video, we are going to cover every major habit mechanism, from the basic loop your brain runs on, to the identity shift that makes behavioral change permanent. And when we reach concept number 5, the idea of identity-based habits, most people realize they have been approaching self-improvement from entirely the wrong direction. Let's start at the absolute foundation, the loop that governs all of it. The habit loop. Every habit your brain runs follows the same three-part structure: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger, a time of day, a specific location, an emotional state, or a person that signals your brain to activate a stored behavioral sequence. The routine is the action itself, automated and stored in a region called the basal ganglia, a primitive structure deep in the brain responsible for pattern recognition. The reward is what locks the loop, the signal that tells your brain this sequence produced a result worth remembering and repeating. Once that loop solidifies, the decision-making part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, essentially disengages, handing control over to the basal ganglia. This is called chunking. The brain compresses a complex chain of actions into one automated unit to conserve cognitive energy for higher-level problems. This process, where the brain hands over a decision to an automated loop, is not weakness. It is how the brain manages its limited energy budget. Knowing the loop exists is only the beginning. The leverage comes from knowing how to deliberately attach new behaviors to the ones already running. Habit stacking. The most efficient way to build a new habit is to anchor it directly onto an existing one. Your established habits have well-worn neural pathways, fast, automatic routes your brain travels every day without burning any deliberate mental energy. Habit stacking uses those existing pathways as a launch point by following one simple formula. After I do this existing behavior, I will immediately do this new one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write one sentence. After I sit at my desk, I will open the document. The old behavior becomes the trigger for the new one. Every existing habit is a fixed point, a reliable trigger that fires at the same moment each day without requiring any willpower to initiate. The formula works because it eliminates the planning stage entirely. You never have to decide when or whether to start the new behavior, because the old one makes that decision for you. And because the brain's prefrontal cortex is already disengaged during the execution of the existing habit, it offers no resistance to the new one that follows immediately after. What this eliminates is the second decision, and it is that second decision, that moment of deliberate choice, where most new habits quietly die. Which brings us directly to the next obstacle: the sheer activation energy it takes to begin any new behavior at all. The 2-minute rule. The hardest moment in any habit is the first second of it, the transition from inaction to motion. Most people destroy new habits before they begin by setting the initial standard too high, telling themselves they will run 5 miles, meditate for 30 minutes, or write 1,000 words. And when the brain perceives the scale of the task, it activates avoidance. The 2-minute rule solves this by shrinking the habit down until it requires less than 120 seconds. Read 1 page, open the gym bag, write 1 sentence. The objective is not to complete the work. The objective is to show up, to activate the loop, and to reinforce the neural pathway one more time. You cannot improve a habit that has not yet been established, so the rule is always the same. Build the ritual before you optimize the performance. Once the loop is running consistently, The factor that determines whether it survives long-term is the environment around it. Friction and choice architecture. We are, at the neurological level, creatures of least resistance. We default to what is immediately accessible and avoid what requires extra steps. Most bad habits do not survive because of moral failure or weak character. They survive because the environment is structured to make the wrong choice the easiest one. This is why two people with identical willpower can produce radically different behavioral outcomes. The one with the better designed environment will consistently win. The phone on the nightstand, the snacks in a visible bowl, the streaming app one tap away, none of these are neutral. Every one is a behavioral trigger embedded in your environment. The intervention is what is called the friction flip. Deliberately increase the number of steps required to perform a bad habit and deliberately decrease the steps required for a good one. Put the workout clothes on the bathroom floor the night before. Move the book to the pillow. Log out of the distracting app. Discipline is a finite resource, but intelligent environmental design is structural and essentially effortless once it is in place. And the deepest layer of that design, the one that makes change outlast willpower entirely, is the level of identity. Identity-based habits. Most people approach behavior change at the level of outcomes. They chase a result, when the actual mechanism that produces lasting change operates at the level of identity. Outcome-based thinking says, I want to run a marathon. Identity-based thinking says, I am a runner. These are not the same thing, and the difference determines everything. When a habit is anchored to your identity, it no longer competes with willpower. It becomes an expression of who you already believe yourself to be. Every time you perform the habit, you cast a vote for that identity. An identity is not built in one dramatic moment. It is accumulated through a long sequence of small, consistent actions. The identity is not a destination you arrive at. It is a direction you vote for every single day, with the small decisions that most people never think to count. The practical shift requires only a change in language. Stop saying, I am trying to become, and start saying, I am. But even a solidly formed identity runs into one final obstacle: the brain's need for an immediate signal that the effort is worth continuing. Immediate reward. Your brain is biologically wired to prioritize what produces a benefit right now over what pays off weeks or months from now. And this is the precise mechanism that makes good habits so difficult in their early stages. Most good habits have delayed rewards, the health, the skill, the savings, while most bad habits produce their dopamine hit immediately. The trap most people fall into is making the gap too long. They build good habits and wait for visible results, then stop when the results do not come fast enough to feel meaningful. A habit tracker bridges that gap. When you mark an X on a calendar after completing a behavior, the brain receives a small but real visual reward that signals progress and keeps the loop alive until the long-term results arrive. The tracker makes the result visible immediately, not the long-term result, but the result of having shown up, and that is enough to sustain the loop. Never miss twice. One missed day is an anomaly. 2 missed days is the beginning of a competing habit forming in the opposite direction. The never miss twice principle is not about maintaining a perfect streak. It is about understanding that recovery is itself the most important habit in the system. Social proximity. Beyond the individual habit, perhaps the most underestimated force in all of behavioral psychology is the social environment. Who you spend your time with shapes what feels normal to you. If your immediate social environment treats reading daily, exercising consistently, or avoiding distraction as the baseline norm, those behaviors cost you almost nothing. They feel like the obvious default. The most powerful habit change happens not when you try harder, but when you find a social environment where the behavior you want is simply what everyone does. The habit is not the hard part. The environment that makes the habit feel normal is the real leverage. If this video gave you one useful framework, consider subscribing and leaving a comment below. What is the single habit you are working on building right now?